Good day, everyone. You're welcome to another episode of your math class. I am Hajibadi, and I'll be taking you on concept of indices today. We want to learn how to use the law of indices in calculation and perform simple operation with indices. Now, before we go there, we need to know these basics. We need to know if you're given something like this, b raised to power x, for example. This b is your base and x is your power. So if, for example, I write 2 raised to power 3, my 2 is the base while the 3 is the power. So let's go into the laws. We have different laws of indices, but we are going to be concentrating on indices law 1 to 3. We have b raised to power x times b raised to power y equals b raised to power x plus y. B raised to power x divided by b raised to power y equals b raised to power x minus y. And the last one we'll be looking at today is b raised to power 0 equals 1. Now, before we start, let's look at this instruction. Let a and b be the positive numbers, and let x and y be the real numbers. Now, what we are saying here is, if a is a number and b is a number, a positive number, then x and y could be any real number, any value that you might think of. Okay, so we are going to be looking at these examples and how they can be applied to our mathematics. Okay, now let's have an example. We are going to be looking at these questions one after the other, the application of indices. Question number 1, you have to simplify a raised to power 3 and b and a raised to power 8. Now take note from the law of indices that we saw previously. You realize that, okay, you need to note that the base for this law of indices to be applicable at any point in time, your base must be the same. You must be able to have equal bases. Now look at example given here, b raised to power x times b raised to power y equals b raised to power x plus y. What can you just notice? You notice that we have b at the first term, b on the second term, and then we are using the answer. We are using b as the base for the answer. Now in this case, we have a as the base, a raised to power 3, and we have another a raised to power 8. Now for us to be able to solve this question, it's as simple as, since a is the common base here, so we are going to be having a as our base, which is the answer, raised to power. Now you have to take note of the sign between the two bases. The sign between the two bases is multiplication. Therefore, the answer will have power, positive power. Addition, you're going to add up the powers. So let's add up the power. So that's going to be 3 plus 8. So if we have that, so what will this give us? This is going to give us a raised to power 3 plus 8 is what? Is 11. 3 plus 8 is 11. So it's as simple as this. Your answer is a raised to power 11. Now, in a situation where I have a raised to power, say 2 times y raised to power 5, is law of indices applicable here? Okay, if you have said no, you're correct. But if it is yes, you are yet to get the idea. The idea is that the value of the base must be the same. They must have same base for the rule to be, for us to be able to apply the rule. Let's go to example 2. Now this is looking a little bit maybe scary, but mind you, it is still the same thing because they both have same base. So coincidentally, it's number 2. All right, so the bases here are 2. So you have 2 in the first place, you have 2 in the second place. So it means the law is applicable right here. Now, what is the sign in between the values, in between the terms? We have multiplication in between the terms. So if we have multiplication in between the terms, it means that you're going to be doing what? Addition. Can you just calm down and solve this question using your idea of algebra? Okay, so we have 2 raised to power x minus y, which is the first term. Now because we are having multiplication, so we have addition on the power, and then we open a bracket, to have 2y minus x. Now, why did I open a bracket for this? We have two terms here, so I have to open a bracket. Now, even if I don't open a bracket here, because it is positive, it has no effect. But once your sign out here is negative, it's going to have an effect on your solution. So let's solve this. We should learn to expand brackets right here. So this is 2 raised to power x minus y plus, now plus times plus is plus, so this is going to be plus 2y. Then plus times minus is a negative sign, so it's going to be minus x. Now, can we solve our simple algebra? Don't tell me you are afraid to solve algebra. Algebra is very simple. So let's go. Let's go. You can see that this is positive x and this is negative x. So x minus x will give you 0. So x is gone. So on this, we have negative y plus 2y. Now 2y, this can also be written as 2y minus y. It is like saying 2 minus 1. Where did I get the minus 1 from? Okay, you have a negative value here and the coefficient of this y is negative 1. So it means this can be written as 2 minus 1. So what is 2 minus 1? 2 minus 1 is 1. So it implies that my answer here should give me a y. So your answer will be 2 raised to power y. 2 raised to power y, and that is your answer, lovelies. So that is, it is very simple and straightforward. Now let's look at example number 3. Now we have 3 raised to power 6 divided by 3 raised to power minus 2. Remember when we started, I told you that your b, a and b can be positive values. So we have been using alphabets, but now we are using numbers. The same thing is applicable here because they are numbers. A and B can actually be numbers. So you're applying the same rule because the bases are the same. So the value here will be 3. Okay, so now in between the terms we have what? Division. And in our law of indices, when you have division, what's going to happen? Your power will be what? Negative. So we are going to be saying 6, which stands as our x here, minus, remember when it's division we have a negative sign, and that's why the negative is coming from. Then for this term itself, you have a negative value, so you have to open a bracket and then you have your negative 2. Recall that I said that if you have a negative opening a bracket, it's going to affect the sign of your answer. So this is going to affect what we are going to have. So we are going to have 3 raised to power 6 minus times minus is going to give us a positive value. So this is going to be plus 2. Okay, and that will give us 3 raised to power 8. I guess that is simple enough. All right, so going to law 4. Law 4. The third law is as simple as b raised to power 0 equals 1. So if I give you a question like 25 raised to power 0, all you just have to tell me is that, Madam Ajibade, don't waste your time. This is just 1. If I tell you, 348 raised to power 0, you just have to reply me and tell me, oh no, this should not scare me. It's just 1. So it does not matter what the value is. If it is raised to power 1, it is raised to power 0, it is 1. Thanks for your time.